They literally showed us in this cutscene that Feixiao and Yukong are meant to be together. She literally borrows Yukong's bow and annihilates a lot of enemies. The day they showed Feixiao's kit, I knew Yukong would make a comeback. Everything that Yukong wants is supported with what Feixiao needs in her team. We will have a look at why Feixiao and Yukong synergize that great together, showcase you an amazing team where they fight against Fantalia in the latest Apocalyptic Shadow, and of course show you everyone's build. The team we will go with is with Feixiao, Dr. Ratio, Aventurine and Yukong. The thing with Yukong is, she gives some awesome buffs to the whole team. She gives a lot of crit rate, a lot of crit damage and like 80% attack percentage if you have leveled her skill to 10. So with Yukong, you want to have teammates who do a lot of attacks outside of their turn, so that you can make the most use of Yukong's buffs, because she loses a stack every time an ally turns ends, and she has just 2 stacks maximum. And characters who do a lot of attacks outside of their turn are characters like Topaz with her Numpy, Dr. Ratio, Moze, Feixiao and Aventurine with their follow-up attacks, and even Clara and Yunli when it's the enemy's turn. But it may be really difficult to work with, because if there's just one enemy, it will be quite bad. But the more enemies, the better, since they will do a lot of attacks against Clara and Yunli, resulting in them counter-attacking. But you need to time it so well that Yukong uses her skill and ult before the enemies attack. And even Lingsha with her Numpy-like pig, who does attacks outside of her turn. Preservation March 7th with her shield whenever an ally gets attacked. And maybe more characters that do attacks outside of their turn, which I can't think of right now. But the best is of course DPSs who do attacks outside of their turn. Because on sustainers you don't want to have crit rate, crit damage or attack percentage. Yeah, well, apart from Lucha, because his healing is based on how much attack he has. But in my case, he always overheals, so it isn't that needed for him. And the nice thing with Yukong also is, you don't have to skill every turn with her. How I play her is, I do one basic attack, one turn, and the other turn I do a skill, and repeat that cycle. Because otherwise you will get a big skill point issue with this team. But luckily in this Apocalyptic Shadow against Fantalia, whenever you weakness break her, you recover a lot of skill points, allowing you to go all in. But the thing with Yukong is, she's really inconsistent without her E6, because then she's a real pain in the ass to play with. But luckily, I have her E6. And if the enemy doesn't have imaginary weakness, Yukong falls off greatly, since she isn't just a buffer. She's a buffer and sub-DPSC-like character. That is how I play her mostly. So those are things you need to keep in mind. The ideal situation with this team would be Yukong uses ult, Dr. Ratio uses ult, Feixiao uses her skill, Feixiao uses her follow-up attack immediately, Dr. Ratio follow-ups, Feixiao follow-ups, Dr. Ratio follow-ups again, Aventurine follow-ups, and Feixiao finishes the enemy off with her ult. And this all happens in Feixiao's turn, using all the buffs of Yukong, who should be E6 preferably. And if not, you should have skilled with her before Feixiao's turn. And if you use Topaz or Moze instead of Aventurine, you would have done way more damage. And Yukong is not Feixiao's best support always, of course, because Robin outshines Yukong by a mile in general, and that is to be expected from a limited 5-star Harmony character who specializes in follow-up attack teams. And Robin is of course way more consistent and easier to play with. Yukong is just so difficult and inconsistent to play with because of all that speed tuning, setting up the good scenarios. You got to think ahead a lot of times. She's just way less comfortable to play with compared to Robin. But she's a really fun alternative to Robin if you don't have her, and if you can set up those perfect scenarios, and if the enemy has imaginary weakness. And Aventurine is the best sustainer in this case, because the enemy has imaginary weakness, because of the amount of follow-up attacks Dr. Ratio and Feixiao do non-stop, allowing Aventurine to get his stacks way faster, resulting in Aventurine follow-up attacking 2 and giving Feixiao more stacks. And of course Aventurine shines against enemies who have team-wide attacks, because the more allies of yours are attacked, the more stacks Aventurine gets, resulting in him follow-up attacking more, giving Feixiao also more stacks. And without Aventurine, things wouldn't be this easy. He's just that good. I almost never need to use his skill. I know I won't have difficulty sustaining with him. I can just turn my brain off regarding that. So hereby the showcase, have fun.
打ちしましょうか。迷いはない。遅い。全てを狩り尽くす。上昇腐敗。大将は定まった。
僕が質問する。テスマイナスだ。
遊んであげるよ。全てを失うか、はたまた手に入れるか、気をつけて。
誇張だな。
風が吹き、運営はとどまる。この一矢で十分。恐れひるまず。遅い。全てを狩り尽くす。上昇腐敗。大将は定まった。天をつく。
答えてみろ。存在と知識は尺と真理を探り、語尾を根絶。
つゆの命よ。
マイナスだ。
命を惜しげるのだ。迷いはない。壊滅の懲罰。
気をつけて。
予想にはなるか。恐れひるまず。弱い。
少し
ベッド
わきまえろ。
遅い。
サイは投げられた。全てを失うか、はたまた手に入れるか。
風が吹き、この一矢で十分。全て上昇腐敗。大将は定まった。迷いはない。
もう限界か。テス0点。
矢はつがえた。疾風のごとし。全て上昇腐敗。大将は定まった。
遊んであげるよ。
サクッと手。恐れひるまず。遅い。闘志は消えない。弱い。
回答を答えてみろ。マイナスだ。
身の程を知れ。
存在と感知識は尺と真理を探り、語尾を根絶する。
気をつけて。
迷いはない。遅い。
マイナスだ。
時期は一瞬で過ぎ去る。躊躇しないように。全てを終わらせる。
僕が質問する。
風が吹き、運営はとどまる。この一矢で 十分
です。0点。
すべて上昇腐敗大将は定まった
ベッドタイは全てを失うかはたまた手に入れるか。
爪も牙も恐れずひるまず矢はつがえた弱いすべて狩り尽くす上昇腐敗や大将は定まった
気をつけて
羽は先
上だな。
時間の無駄だ気をつけて
回答を楽しみにしているぞ。存在と知識は尺と真理を探り語尾を根絶する。
迷いはない
マイナスだ。0点。
好きに数楽大したことない全てを終わらせる恐れずひるまず遅いほとんど自滅じゃない迷いはない弱い
僕が質問。
風が吹きこの一矢で十分
です
すべて上昇腐敗大将は定まった天をつくすべて上昇腐敗大将は定まった
I am not going to lie. Looking back, I could have played it way better by ulting with Yukong on that and not that, so that I could do this and not that, yada yada, resulting in me not being able to create the perfect scenario, but that wasn't even needed. That good was this team. It was really fun to play with. I highly recommend you to try it out. Now allow me to show you everyone's build. For Yukong we have these stats, nothing special really, a lot of imaginary damage boost. I used this light cone on her because we have 3 imaginary characters in this team, so everyone deals a little bit more damage. For the tracers I haven't maxed everything because we gotta be mindful of these golden balls. For the relics I used a 2-piece Penacony Land of Dreams, so she gets her ult a little bit more fast and everyone does a bit more imaginary damage, apart from Feixiao of course. And for the 4-piece I went for the DPS one, so I need to be mindful to weakness break Fantalia with an imaginary character so that they get imprisoned, which wasn't always the case if you watch the showcase. I forgot to do that sometimes. For the head we got this quite good piece. I don't prefer the break effect, but why not? For the hands we got also an amazing piece. For the body we went for the crit rate body, not the best substat. The boots are quite bad actually, because I want to have crit rate and crit damage on her, because I play her as a sub DPS and buffer, but I didn't have any better. For the orb we got this nice piece, and the rope is also quite nice. And she's E6 of course, like I said. For Aventurine we got these stats, quite nice, a lot of defense. For the light cone we used this one. I used this light cone accidentally on him. I would have preferred to use this light cone, but I forgot to switch it out, but I didn't even notice any difference. For the tracers I have maxed them out. For the relics I went just for a 2-piece Fleet of Ageless and 4-piece Knight of Purity. And for this 2-piece Fleet of Ageless I don't even have the extra 8% attack percentage for everyone, because my speed is 116 and not 120, which is quite a shame, but couldn't do much about it. And his pieces are quite bad. I really didn't want to min-max everything. I just went with whatever had acceptable substats, as you can see. I would have preferred to have some more crit rate and crit damage substats because of his traces, which say that he gets a certain amount of crit rate depending on how much defense he has, but he does so little damage it is quite neglectable. These are the stats of Dr. Ratio. As you can see, he doesn't have a lot of crit rate, but since Yukong gives so much crit rate, plus Dr. Ratio gets like 15% crit rate from his traces, I really didn't want to stress about it. For the light cone, I use this light cone because I do have his signature light cone, but I use it on Feixiao and I don't have any better light cone. I really want to use a 5-star light cone because the stats are really great, but the effects of this light cone is unfortunately useless. But this team performs so well together, I really didn't mind. I would have really liked to use swordplay if there was just one enemy, but because we switch between Fantalia and her summons the whole time, this effect is dispelled the whole time. And since Dr. Ratio does one hit every time, stacking this up is really difficult. For the trace I haven't maxed it, because like I said, we need to be mindful of those golden balls. For the relics we got a 2-piece Inert Salsoto and a 4-piece Pioneer, which I literally just got from my Acheron. It is a shame that I can't always make use of this relic's potential, since I never have 3 debuffs on the enemy consistently, because the only way the enemy gets a debuff is when they are weakness broken with Aventurine's ult, because he applies a debuff that the enemy takes increased crit damage, and with Dr. Ratio's kill. So in the best case scenario, I can have 3 debuffs on the enemy, is when they are weakness broken, have Aventurine's ult, and if Dr. Ratio applied a debuff. Like I said, these are my Acheron pieces, so they are quite amazing as you can see. A lot of crit rate and crit damage, really proud of it. For the 2-piece I don't have that great substat, but it works. And these are the substats of Feixiao. I got really lucky with the substats that they all fell on the speed. As you can see, she has 164 speed. Her crit rate and crit damage ratio is also quite amazing. And like I said, I'm using Dr. Ratio's light cone on her because I wanted Feixiao to be the main carry in this team. So I need to decide, do I want Boothill's light cone on her or Dr. Ratio's light cone on her? And since Boothill's light cone is quite useless on her and on Dr. Ratio actually, I was like, let's use the best one on her. And with this light cone I can't make use of the max potential, since I can never have 3 debuffs on the, because it's really difficult to have 3 debuffs consistently on the enemy. For the traces I haven't maxed her yet, but she's so broken it doesn't matter. For the relics we got of course a 2-piece Dynasty and a 4-piece Valorous. Like I said, I got really lucky with the substats. I got 9 speed on this one, 6 speed on this one, 4 speed on this one. Yeah, of course, a speed boot. Can't get the speed substat, but the crit rate and crit damage substats are quite nice. For the orb, as you can see, it also fell quite a lot on speed. And for my link rope, it's a really solid piece. We saw that Feixiao is just broken. But what if you put her in a really bad team? A team with Yangqing, Preservation March 7th and Hanya. How does she perform in that team? Can she carry everyone? In this video I tested it out, so have a look at that one. Thank you for your time and I see you next time.